Truckload pricing analyst, which that should be easy.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I can email it to you.
Yeah, send them over. I've kind of got the same thing. We could probably trade some candidates. Same thing in
Yeah.
Houston. Houston's a big one.
Yeah. Well, so two of the roles, they could be either based in Dallas, Fort Worth, or Austin, or Houston.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So, yeah.
I have director of sales for a domestic freight company out of Houston that pays 110 plus like bonus potential, overseeing 10 reps.
Where is that at?
Houston.
God, we're all in the same area.
Yeah.
Okay. If you need anyone in Miami, I have the perfect person.
Good old Miami.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I talked to Kelly yesterday. She was using RecStack. It we'll just get started and I'll record it. But yeah, tell them what your experience has been so far.
Yeah, so signed up for RecStack. I've known Patrick for about 4 years. So, me personally, I was looking for a platform that was going to do everything for me. And that's truly exactly what it is. I probably signed up like a month ago, but it took me some time to actually just go to Maildoso, get the domains, get the emails. That process is super easy. It can take you 5 minutes to go to Maildoso and have them give you 34 emails. Gave that to RecStack. I gave them my ICP, the emails. They warmed them up for 2 weeks. We launched my campaigns on Monday, and I've already got 4 new opportunities and 2 new clients. So yeah, within Buck's pace.
Whoa.
No,
I mean, it's amazing.
It's overwhelming and I can't keep up with it. And it's good because Lisa, who works for Patrick, will like ping me and be like, hey, Kelly, you've got something in your inbox. You want to hit it. The one thing it does do, by the way, is obviously because it's clay tables, it'll say like, hey, Bob, I saw that Timmy just left the company and you have an open role for an estimator. Can I send you some resumes? The problem is the way clay tables works is it goes off of roles that are posted. So obviously, like I was pinging other recruiters and they're like, yeah, sure, send over some resumes. But yeah.
Can you change that trigger?
I don't think so, because if you think about the way that our roles get posted, like through like ZipRecruiter, it's going to show acclaim recruiters. So it might not necessarily filter out who's a recruiter and who's an actual like construction company. But maybe, I mean, it could be a one-off, but I obviously.
If it's in LinkedIn, like if it's pulling that, you could say off staff recruiting companies, nonprofit, government.
Yeah.
The normal ones that you would take out in a search.
Apparently, it is all scraped through LinkedIn, so that is a good point. But it's doing what it's got to do. It's funny because at the time that I got on board was the time that there was a lull in opportunities because I wasn't doing any BD. So that's why I pivoted a bit and I've been doing like LinkedIn profile optimizations. So then because of my kind of viral LinkedIn post, I've gotten 5 new opportunities on my own. And now that this is launched, I'm like super overwhelmed. But
yeah, me too.
Busy's good.
Yeah. How about you, Ernie? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute, Ernie. I don't know if you noticed, you're on mute.
Yeah, now I am.
Oh, there you
are. I talk to myself all the time anyway. Hey, Kelly, was it $6.95 a month for this? I see it, the pricing on the website.
So it's $6.95 a month, and then you figure you pay quarterly for your email inboxes, so I got another 100 a month. But I mean, think about it. You get 1 placement out of it that pays for it.
No, I just want to make sure this was the right website that I was going to.
Ernie, I went on there with a tech guy that's very tech savvy, and I go, hey, pick this apart. I go, pretend like you work for me. Pick this apart. Find me a hole. Find something. There's got to be a hole here. And he goes, Don, they did a pretty good job. I go, how much would it cost me to build this out? He goes, well, Joel's on here too. Joel just showed me something pretty cool. but it was a lot. It's a wrapper. You had to wrapper it and stitch it together. It's a lot of work for what he did.
Uh,
White label a lot of those products and put them into one platform is a pretty damn good job.
yeah, I gotta look at it. Yeah. No,
I'm not even, I mean, I'm not even like using it to its full potential whatsoever. So I need to, like, for instance, I'm getting rid of Loxo, just because like that's additional overhead that I don't utilize.
Mhm.
I got rid of People GPT, but ultimately, like, it's your calendar in there, all of the content that you're posting on LinkedIn, you post it in there and it's all scheduled. And I think week by week, I think I'll continue to start utilizing the platform. But I mean, I'm just completely overwhelmed.
Are you gonna use this as your ATS?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, but here's the kicker. I'm trying to figure that aspect out because my main book of business is logistics transportation. What I'm doing is I'm using RecStack currently for construction, which is my other vertical. So I'm trying to figure out how I can streamline the two. But obviously,
Yeah.
the other point too is not putting all my eggs in one basket. So
Yeah.
Kelly, I'm so glad you just said here's the kicker in an effective way in a sentence, because my AI keeps trying to have me say that. I'm like, I don't say that, but you said it and it sounds awesome.
here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Joel, I had a great chat with Joel the other day. He is very up and center on a lot of these tech tools too. So Joel sent me something cool. I posted in the chat.
Yeah.
Joel, what do you think
that
of
was
that?
pretty cool. Yeah, a candidate that I used to work with reached out to me and introduced me to it, and man, it was really cool. I'd never even heard of it, and it was. It seems like it's similar to like Clay a little bit, but has more features, and you can use it to like research not only like candidates and sourcing, but like your market, and like it pretty much gets anything on a company out there, and then it will put it in the spreadsheet for you.
Yeah.
I tried the free version, but I'm going to try like the monthly version because I mean, it's really not that much. I think it's like $50 a month just to do like the basic version
You know
of
what I
it.
think they did, Joel? I think they created their own app or soft platform and then just white labeled the clay tables behind it. So when you're typing in that information, it's pulling and then they're just not showing you where, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I was researching the company and I actually saw that they were hiring for a couple of people in my niche because I literally kind of just filmed a video of what I've done and reached out to the CEO because I'm like, dude, your product is awesome. Like, you know, showed him what I was doing and you know, hire me to find you your next ML engineer for this stuff. But it's pretty cool. Hopefully it's something that's actually continues to be legit. But
Which I didn't see it anywhere. Is it the
No,
outer?
it's
no, I'll
called.
put it.
Oh, okay,
I'll
you
put
got
the
it.
video. Here's a video. I don't know what it's called, but I can probably find out.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, it's called EXA AI Labs.
Yeah.
But that's
They've
the
got,
video there. Good.
they've got some YouTube videos that kind of do use cases on what you can use it for.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of explains it all. But quick question though, this is off topic of that. It was actually back to Kelly. That one that you're using now, is that similar to like Atlas? Is anybody familiar with Atlas?
I'm not
ATS?
familiar with Atlas. I mean, look, I know it's like a white labeled product because I used a similar platform about a year ago. I was on it for 3 or 4 months, and the one thing that it wasn't doing was the clay tables and the cold email campaigns. So I'm not familiar with Atlas. I guess for me personally, I've known Patrick personally for 4 years, so I know and trust him. And ultimately, like the members that have been in that community, including Tom, I'm sure, they've known Patrick for a few years and they're just finding it to be super successful. The other thing too is like, you know, run a campaign and run it 30, 60 days. And if you choose to pivot your ICP, they'll do that for you. I mean, when I say hands off, like completely done for you, you're not rating the emails whatsoever.
When do you jump in?
You'll get an alert when you get a positive reply. And
it writes the emails for you?
yeah, right. It writes emails for you. It sources all the contacts, writes the emails, really does everything. The only thing I had to do was give them ICP and then give them the 34 emails that they put through their warm-up period. So I'm still super new just because I haven't had the bandwidth to go in and actually learn the complexities of the system as a whole. So
is there a trial period or period or any of that, or?
no, because like from the onset, there's a lot that you have to do to just kind of like, you know, position yourself with your LinkedIn and your logo and who you are and what you do, but you're not in a contract. So that's key. If it's not working for you, then cancel, like no harm, no foul. Patrick does host weekly calls and everybody kind of hops on, but it's very similar to this. You know, we're not necessarily digging into the complexities of what the product is. We're really kind of talking about recruiting as a whole.
And can you hop on those calls without being part of his program, or do you have to be part of the program for the call?
I think you have to be part of the program, but I mean, truth be told, Ernie, like you can set up a call and talk to Patrick direct and really kind of pick his brain about, you know, everything. And like he knows the value of what he has, so he doesn't try to push anybody into it. He'll just answer questions and be like, hey, this is what I got, what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try it out.
Yeah.
He knows what he has because I had a tech guy on trying to ask him technical questions to give him. And he's like, yeah, I'll even tell you what I'm using. Good luck trying to stitch it all together and wrap it.
Yeah. Yeah. And he used to have like the coaching platform. And quite frankly, like that's not a lucrative model in this industry because now it's very time oriented. You're dealing with people. This is like, hey, I've got a platform. We do everything for you. Ping us if you need anything. Like that's basically it.
That's cool. Tom, this is my father-in-law here. He's awesome. He's been building some amazing things on his own.
Real quick. Just real quick introduction. Tom Nichols, been recruiting since 88, 89 maybe. So got a few years in the business. Dominic invited me in. I love what you guys are talking about. I actually just ran into a gentleman. I was showing Dominic, it's a Playmaker ML. I think it's a .com.
Oh, yeah.
But these guys are actually scraping social profiles and writing personalized emails. And some of the responses, I don't know how far they are along. So until I look for reviews. I went through the demo. It seems real. I think I'm going to try them out, but they're a little over 1,000, and they'll curate 1,000 leads. With the personalized emails, all the outreach, dashboard, and it's hands off completely. I think you do the same thing. He said I need to give them maybe 10, 12 emails, which is like you guys are talking about. I'll run those through chat or Perplexity and get like really good 12 emails and let them warm up their server. They're going to buy the domains. They manage it all. And basically it's completely automated, the business development all the way up to the meeting. So it schedules meetings and everything, evidently.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that works out.
No, I can't wait.
I'm interested in your guys' pain points too, because like Dominic said, I'm not a programmer, but I vibe coded some pretty cool stuff on my own, just learning how to talk to it and operate it and, stop it and things like that. So
he made something amazing for the kids. An app. Do you want to tell them about that? That was just.
I built probably like 8 or 9 things, but what I'm working on right now, it's basically a learning app. So it creates material from your material or AI material, and then it creates basic learning things, and you can set age groups and who you are, and it'll create custom material for you. So for like homeschooling and things like that, I think it'd be pretty powerful, and I'm going to do it pretty cheap. So I got a way to get it done, at minimal cost to people, because I experienced all this. I was learning disabled as a kid, and if I had this kind of access to just myself, that I could teach myself if I wanted to, or my mom could give me something that I could do, and it self scores, and it was really cool, and it was all vibe coded. I don't know anything I barely know what HTML means. So,
So you figured it out.
Well, and but I appreciate the common struggle. I run one of the things I run at my company we do everything from manufacturing to staffing. And we started out as a staffing company, and now we're doing. We actually machine the Blue Origin capsule, the tooling for to bond an inner and outer capsule. But short story long, we're having to reinvent ourselves because we're basically automotive. So we got devastated with COVID, and we're still finding our way. So, but we use Loxo. Dominic's been very helpful in helping me engage some technology on the recruiting side that I didn't even know existed. So I appreciate what we're hearing here today, and if we can help anybody out, if you guys are looking for recruiting assistance and things like that, we'd be happy to sign whatever you guys want to sign NDA wise, or and see if we could do some business together.
Good stuff. How about you, Jordan?
I was just listening to you guys and learning some new tools from everybody. We're pretty busy right now. We're just getting tons of referrals because our platform that we built is really striking a chord with our current clients. We're looking to add an AI implementation option for our companies as well, because I think long term they're going to want to use less agencies. I hear that from people all the time. They want to spend less on agency fees. So we're trying to be true partners to these people and try to figure out best ways that we can implement some white labeled stuff for them, and then just go after their exact roles as well. So stuff's moving fast. I've never heard of RecStack. Looks interesting. I'd be very concerned on the email copywriting. I feel like automated copywriting is never something I personally loved. I'll go down and check it out to see if it's getting better, but it does seem like a little bit more of a spray and pray approach. I'm not sure about that, but I'd be curious to learn, more success stories as you use it more, Kelly, since you're kind
And
of
Jordan, that's not why I was going to use it. Why I was going to use it is this reason. We have too many roles to work on right now for sales roles, right? But I have like the VP of supply chain that built out Walmart supply chain. Like I have a role for this guy right now, but I don't want to just leave him hanging and let somebody else go place him. He's a 500K base salary guy. Not every company can afford.
right.
And you're not going to spray and pray this guy out to everyone, right? So it's like, okay, if anything pops up, this will trigger automatic messages to go out to those companies, and then trigger me, hey, reach out to this company, follow up, find the decision makers. That's I want to use it, and Patrick said it will work great for that. So we'll see. But
So you're trying to use it like as an automated NPC, what you're trying to
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, how many good candidates you guys probably have sitting around, and you can't find a spot for them right now? I have a million. And people reach out to me or they're referred to me. And it's like, where can I help this person, or where can I place them? And I'll always try to connect them with other recruiters, or even just send them to like Ernie's site and say, hey, here's the split network on top echelon and whatever.
Yeah.
But, people are struggling, especially in Metro Detroit right here,
Mm-hmm.
in automotive. Who else we got on here?
You just started doing that though, so you really don't have any data on if it's working for RecStack.
I haven't even started yet. Before I do that, I vet out everything, and then I'm meeting with a couple today. I got into the Clay Slack channel, and then just messaged like 7 people and I said, hey, this is what I'm looking to do. Show me some things you built out, and I scheduled calls with them today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see which one I like best and try to get them to have skin in the game and say, hey, if you can build this for me. I mean, most of them are from Pakistan, India, whatever, but they speak great English. I go, if you can build this for me, I'll give you I'll give them a good commission. Let's put it that way, off each deal.
Yeah, I think it's more work to do it that way, but I think that's the better way to go because, like, what Kelly was saying was was reaching out to other recruiters and government. Like, that is an easy fix if you actually know how to use the clay tables behind the scenes. If it's a packaged, done for you product that you can't mess with, I'd be more concerned on that because there's just so many tweaking things that you need to do as you dial in your market. Like, you start seeing that, like, you're wasting emails sending it to other recruiters, and your deliverability and your score on Google, like, long term that could be tough. Like, you'd be burning through emails all the time because you're going to be much spam from a lot of recruiters that are like, why are you reaching out? So unless there's like a way to customize that, I think that's the main concern on Rec Stack is like, if I can't get behind the scenes and get into Clay, so I know how to use Clay, then I don't know if I would want to in that basket, but
I think for somebody like myself that's like not super tech savvy and like I know my strengths, like right, my strengths are sales, BD, getting the opportunity. But I hate to use that, spray and pray or like throw spaghetti at the wall approach. But ultimately, yeah. So for somebody like me that doesn't want to get into the tech piece, doesn't want to scrape and pull and manually do like all the emails and stuff like that because it's not my skill set, I think it makes sense. But I'm also somebody that pivots my trajectory like every 6 to 8 months because I'm trying to find out what's working. And I'm only 3 4 days in, so I don't have enough. But everything that I see, I go back and I'm like, hey, we need to tweak this.
yes.
Obviously, like one of like their initial emails is like, hey, can we send you a redacted resume based on this position that you're trying to fill? And that can be ultimately very time consuming because now we're pulling a candidate that we're sending to them. But for me, with everything is like I'm looking to have the opportunity to have a conversation, and
Exactly.
it's creating that sort of leverage. Great. But like you're right, ultimately you don't want to get the reputation of being somebody that's reaching out to other recruiters and kind of putting yourself out there in the market like that. And that's why I'm choosing to utilize it more towards a vertical that we're not super heavily invested in.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not trying to do crossover. I mean, yeah, the one thing that concerns me with them is like their team stack that they're trying to push. They're like 75 email boxes, 15 domains. That to me screams like spam. Like, do you need 75 emails boxes?
No. Like I talked to him about that too, Jordan. Trust me, I picked it apart left and right. And I go, hey, this is not what I want. I want this very dialed in. Like I want to even create the messages with the lady. And then
Exactly.
she just alerts me once they're sent out and they respond. But yeah, the same. Every question you just said, I mean, I'll send you the recording. They're all the questions you just asked.
I mean, it's like that though. Like, think about it. Like a lot of us, to be honest with you, like when I launched my company 4 years ago, I used Ben Nader as a coach. And if you think Ben Nader, what he was teaching was things that nobody really understood back then, which was the cold email drip campaigns. And back then, 4 years ago, it was extremely successful.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. And so obviously, like, and I've tried a lot of different approaches. I mean, I hired a team overseas to just do like direct cold calls, 150 cold calls a day. Not necessarily the most successful, probably because they were overseas and that was
the accent, yeah.
Yeah. But like, okay, so now what they're finding back 4 years ago, you could have 2 emails and really get some traction sending the 300 emails a day versus now what they're looking at is quantity maybe over quality. But the difference is with the clay tables and how they're utilizing them from my point of view and not being like super high level is they're able to be a little bit more pointed towards like being personalized. Hey, I saw Tommy Jones is no longer at your company. And we talk about, helping you guys replace that role. So for somebody that's a very low level type of like cold email drip understanding, like that would make more sense to me. And you do see more traction. So I get it. I'll try it out. Like I love being the guinea pig for these types of systems and programs, and I don't mind doing it.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I think if you could package it, I mean, obviously packaging it well, right? If you could actually crack this code, obviously, I guess that's the end of recruiters at some point too. But I think there's just a lot of different fail points that are going to get better over time. And obviously, he's a newer company, so hopefully you figure that out. But like, it looks like he's using ChatGPT to write stuff from what it looks like on the website versus like a Claude, which writes way better in my opinion. Sonnet writes a million times better than GPT. Someday Twain is supposed to be opening up their API, which is the best writing AI that I've seen.
Which one?
Twain.
Oh
like
yeah.
Mark Twain.
Yeah.
But they know they have the best, so they haven't opened an API up yet. So you have to only use it like a standalone. But I feel like once that is, and you can integrate that with Clay, then it'll be something truly special at that point.
Game changer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the reason I put that myfamilytreenow.com in there is one of my recruiter buddies, Zach, asked me, he goes, Tom, can you find me this R&D guy's number on Apollo? So I go, oh yeah, here's 2 numbers. He goes, both of the numbers were wrong. He found it for free on this, it's kind of like a True People search, but try it for phone numbers. It pulled up 3 people that I looked up, and you're one of them. So let's see if it works for you guys. It's free. No, my father, Tom.
Oh.
And I looked it up. I'm like, damn, how does it have? But it doesn't have my number because my number is under my catering account, so it doesn't know like it's me.
So this is like similar to True People Finder?
Yeah. And it really, the people that I've checked, so only 3, because I just found out about it right before this call. The 3 people I checked, it gave me the exact right cell phone number. And I go, wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I called somebody's dad. I called somebody's dad off Seamless the other day.
That happens a lot in True People Finder. I have actually made placements by having their parents refer me to their kids because I was waiting to call the kid, and I got their parent. And they're, oh yeah, let me send them your information, and then they had their call me about the opportunity.
So check this out. I was calling for this candidate in New Jersey for a sales position. In Apollo, I pull the guy's number. I call, well, it's actually his boss, right? Mobile. And he's like, I'm like, well, hey, are you looking for a job? He's like, well, I'm actually interviewing right now in South Carolina. What do you got? I go, I have a couple of VP dedicated asset roles open. He goes, all right, let's chat. Now I got him interviewing today, but like, I thought that was funny. The guy just out of nowhere. I meant to call somebody else, got him. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Joe, are you on?
Yep, I'm here. I'm
How's
actually
it going?
just bookmarking Family Tree. It's going well. I think I'm trying to, a lot of my focus right now is similar to what you guys are saying, trying to figure out what works and fitting. I feel like I'm really trying to dial in a lot of my messaging. I've sent what I feel like is a pretty good amount of messages to have a concrete kind of pool to base off of, but my response rate is really low. And I'm being super targeted. So like prior to doing recruitment, I actually used to sell LinkedIn Recruiter for LinkedIn. So I worked for LinkedIn for 7 years. Great gig, like loved it. So the areas that I'm focusing in is helping early, seed and Series A companies find go-to-market talent. And so I'm very kind of specific with my ICP and pretty dialed in. But just finding that the response rates are just super low on a lot of the messages that I'm sending. So I think I'm just trying to focus on what can I do differently to garner better responses, whether that's, I don't know.
Are you sending emails or LinkedIn or?
I'm all LinkedIn right now.
All LinkedIn and just blank connections or connection requests?
LinkedIn Recruiter.
Are you just in mails?
Yes.
Got
What
it.
are you saying in the first message?
Usually my first message is, bear with me 1 second. I just created a template earlier this morning. Usually I'm trying to call out like, hey, hiring strong AEs for seed or Series A companies are tough, especially ones that can build pipeline without, SDR support or a solid go-to-market motion. Like I'm trying to speak to the challenges that they face as a go-to-market leader or a founder. And then say that I've helped founders at this startup who are clients of mine tackle the same challenge. And then
Hold on, Joe. I deal with 1 million enterprise sales reps every day. So they get those same messages every day from every recruiter. So like my goal on that first connection would just be to connect with them, whether it's with the message or not. Yeah. And then start putting out content, liking their posts, commenting, and then sending messages. Slowly get into provide value, right? Because that message that you're sending, think about how many, like I should bring a couple of my clients, internal clients on, that really work on the sales roles and for these big companies, they all get a million messages. She showed me her LinkedIn, and I was like, wow, that's insane. You know, like I thought I get a lot of messages from RPO companies.
Yeah.
They get recruiters from US, UK, Canada, you know, you name it, and India. So
Yeah. So you're thinking, and just to clarify, because I have a two-touch email set up there. When they don't respond, I put them into Dripify, and that's when I'm going into connection and leading with value first, saying like just a blank connection request. If they accept it, they get a message 2 days later that's like, hey, you know, saw you're hiring for a salesperson. Here's a go-to-market talent playbook that I've built that XYZ companies have had success with. Like, do you want me to send it over? Right. So I'm getting them to like try and engage.
yeah, that's great.
So you're
My goal
doing
is try to always get them on the call. If I get them
yeah,
on a call,
so you're
I'm good.
doing an in-mail first and then going to try to connect with them after,
So I'm hitting them on LinkedIn Recruiter first to
which
try
is
and
in-mail, right?
which is an email, and
Yeah.
then hitting them with a connection request days, you know, a week later, pretty much. And then if they accept it, then they're going to get a message, you know, asking if they want
Yeah,
that
Cody.
free resource.
I mean, I'd be interested in Dominic's thought there, but I mean, why not just connect with them first? Why even in-mail? Like, build a relationship. In-mail screams, hey, I'm just trying to get a quick win. I'm not trying to build a relationship.
Yeah. Well, it's a good,
Well,
I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But usually it's like you want to do both, right? So like that would be no different than me using email as my business development, like putting someone in instantly, right? Or whatever it is and sending out a massive campaign in conjunction with like making connections and trying to form relationships because you're trying to time it right where you're getting those people that have a need and you're speaking to that need in conjunction with building the relationships with folks for the long term is like my thought process. Maybe I'm wrong because it's
I don't think there's a right or wrong way. I'd be curious Dominic's feedback here, but I mean, I would just be calling these people. Like, I would just be getting them on the phone, trying to connect with them, like have a real conversation, make the fidelity super low.
yeah.
you got to remember too, if you're targeting Series A startup founders, their heads down on their computer all day, not looking at LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So you got to catch them at usually at night or early in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes 2 a.m. Like, but that's how I got the 5 job orders today. I'll show you the message. Watch. This is at 9:40 p.m. last night. Let's see. Yeah. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. We're hiring for growth. Good stuff. Let me know if you need any help for any of the roles. I have great past candidates all over. We do need help, and that was at 10:33 p.m. You know, trying to catch this guy during the day. Good luck.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then he sends me the roles that he's looking for. I'll take a look, and then we ended up. I go, hey, did you need to put this in here? He had 60 to 900K on one of the roles. I go, if that's the case, I'll take the role. Blah blah blah. And anyways, my point being is great chat. And then we ended up. He's like, hey, do you have time for a call? I go, yeah. He looked at my calendar; it was booked. I go, here, I'll move something around, and we just did it in 15 minutes. So this morning, and then that was it. Now I got the roles, and we're good to go.
This is somebody on a first. Was he already in your network, Dominic?
No, this is somebody I planted the seeds on. I've been watching for a while, from back in 2023, but following up with them, right? Just at nighttime. Hey, are you growing or are you back to them? You know, so back in 2023 is when I first initiated. And this was when I did before I even knew about, like, this was the basic MP what connection request that somebody made for me on Dripify or Ubank at the time.
Looks like a Donnie request.
Yeah, you know what, Jordan? I think it was. I think you're right about that.
Classic.
So what are you using now?
Me?
Yeah. I mean, you got the bound, you got all the other different programs out there. What are you using to reach out to multiple people?
Dripify.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like really, we shifted all BD to like candidates right now because we are overloaded with roles. And
I
it's all
switched up to
salespeople.
list, and I would recommend people look that up if you haven't checked it, because it does 90% of what Dripify does, but it also can do emails. It also can do phone calls. It'll record all the phone calls. You can make all the phone calls directly from the website or like from your browser. Records them all. You can drop transcripts and typing mind or create scorecards. Like
Which one is that one, Jordan?
called Limlist.
Limlist.
It does contact enrichment. You'll find emails and phone numbers. You can drop voice text. You know, you can say, hey, send them to this campaign after this amount of days. If they open your email, do this. If they click on an invitation, do that. Like,
is it spelled LAMB like limb?
LEMLIST.
So like, I heard about this tool a long time ago. So it must have got
It's gotten way
better.
better. I used it like
Yeah.
5 years ago and it sucked. But now it does pretty much everything Dripify does. The only thing you can't do is like a post, which I never really thought that really did anything on Dripify. I mean, it's like, cool, I liked your post. And it can't endorse skills. And I always thought that was kind of stupid too. Like, why am I endorsing your skills? I've never met you before.
You know, that's funny.
Besides those two things, it can
I
literally do everything Dripify can do. But also do cold email and phone calls. And,
is it cheaper?
it's a I think Dripify is like 60 or 70. Limlist, I pay 100 a month for. But again, this is contact enrichment, cold emails, 5 different inboxes, calling, you know, and it's all in one campaign. Right.
Do they give you the inboxes, or you have to buy all the?
I've always bought my own inboxes. I'm sure they would sell you an upsell or something, but I own 5 different email addresses, so I just put mine in there.
Yeah.
But if you're just playing in LinkedIn, like Dripify, I think it's the Cadillac, right? If you want to play outside of LinkedIn and do multiple, Limlist is the best that I found for sure.
Buck, are you still on?
Yes, sir.
What do you like? What do you think about that versus Apollo? I think
I mean, it sounds like it got more capability for outreach than Apollo. Apollo is lacking. I mean, it has the call capability. It doesn't have texting, man. I really like that's a component that I feel like I'm missing. I've been just doing iPhone, and I've actually been dropping my contact card in and then calling back, and it's somewhat successful. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check out this Limlist also.
No texting on Limlist there.
Dang.
But Ernie, what about Jobin?
Jobin, you can do some texting, but I think it's primarily just, I use it more for sourcing, you know, and reaching out via email and reaching out via bringing it into Loxo. But what I really want with Jobin is to find, number one, who's there in my first contact, second contacts, and I can download quickly and get information. But I also want to know who's open to work, and that'll give you can break that down pretty easy. And my whole goal is to find every, I think, production supervisor in a certain area such as Illinois, because my thoughts are, if you look at it from a pyramid and you're looking at getting into a company, the most positions that they always have available are those supervisor positions. You hit there, you get the trust, and then you build up. And that's how I think the approach can be, you know.
I think that's the best part of Jobin for sure, is that open to work thing when I played around with it.
Yeah, it's constantly changing and they're constantly doing stuff. But the nice part about it, it is affordable if you want to use it as a sourcing tool. It's adaptable to what you want. You can buy sections of it, and that's the part I like, you know. And it's monthly.
Analytics or UI. The UI is incredible.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't get past the UI. It's like I know, it looks like it was made in the .com era. Like,
Yeah.
Who said that? Joel, you said it's awful?
Yeah, yeah, it's
I said it's
awful.
awful, but it's a great tool.
It would be.
it's the most powerful, but I can't even look at the damn thing.
Yeah, I want to use it so bad, but every time I try, I'm totally confused. I don't know what happened, and it like hurts my eyes to use the damn thing. So I'm like,
You do
this
the
thing would be
exact
so cool
same.
because the features are awesome. Like, if they could just hire somebody, it seems so
Yeah,
basic.
I
Right?
know. I know.
But
Well,
God,
that's why one of the things when you get into any of these tools is to ask like how long you've been doing this, and number two is how many people are on your staff. And if they tell you there's one, there's only me, then you know it's going to be slow in developing, and that's what separates the big boys from the little boys.
Like, I know Loxo's decently powerful too, but I look at him as like the opposite. Where like Jobin can do 10 times more than Loxo, but Loxo looks like an Apple product. I mean, it's like great to actually spend time in at the same time. So you
Right.
got to
Like
balance
I
that.
think Loxo is worth it if you use all the features, which I don't even use all the features. Like I was talking to Tom yesterday about, he's like, why don't you just do the NPCs right out of Loxo? I go, because I mean, I guess I would have to pull the clay tables in for when a role opens up, and then I could automatically pull the contacts from that company and then send the message out to them. Here's an NPC for this role. But otherwise, I'd have to go do it manually, which I don't. Which is the whole reason why I'm looking for this.
You know, I've actually been trying, I did a free trial of pin.com and I've been using it for sourcing, but I'm pretty sure you could do some solid business development in here. And I think that has texting and voicemail drop capabilities. I mean, it's been cool for candidates so far. I've actually found folks that I couldn't find on via LinkedIn Recruiter or Jobin, and it's got a really nice automated outreach sequence. Just one button click after you build it. It's awesome.
Rich Rosen uses that, and he likes it. He also likes this tool, BOUNTI.ai. I'll put it in the chat.
What was the name of the other one we just talked about?
Pin.com, PIN.
Pin.com?
Yeah, I put them all in the chat there.
Pin's
Okay,
kind of like
perfect.
juice box, right? Aren't they kind of the same thing?
Yeah.
Brett, is it the same?
No, they're different companies, but they're
It's kind of
both
same
the
kind of
same.
product, right?
Yeah, they both just email. None of them have that LinkedIn, connection request and email. Well, actually, they might have the LinkedIn connection request. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I don't. I don't like to just email. I always like to do a LinkedIn connection request somehow, just so it's. I think that multi-channel helps with recruiting. Personally,
and have that capability actually. You know, well, I haven't done it yet, but you can add a phone number and it will text and voicemail drop. And I don't know about LinkedIn, but it has multiple.
But that's a cool feature within Jobin where you can download with a push of a button, say 200 folks, and then you can send out 200 really quick LinkedIn requests to connect. And but the problem really is like all of these systems, they all have a piece of what you want, and then you got to figure out, okay, how do I piece it all together? So it really comes down to what's my process and what I want to do, because and that's where we get in trouble, is when we start going over here and everyone says, yeah, but you can pay. If you get a placement, it'll cover everything, but shit, that's a universal answer that a salesperson will give you, like, heck, yeah, just get a
I
placement.
know.
It's
I keep saying, it's like, why are we all as recruiters waiting for these people to build the tools for us that we know we need? Like, I want to show you guys this. Like, this is somebody, they want to reach out to me. They want me to join Silo Ventures. It's a bunch of, I'll show you the people involved in it. It's a bunch of recruiters, but I got on the call with the guy and they're all, you'll see the, let me see what I can find. Yeah. Airbnb, like head of talent at Bill.com, DocuSign, Amazon, Stitch Fix, Rocket Lab, Yahoo, Walt Disney. So some pretty heavy recruiter. But I'll tell you, like I was on the call, they don't know the same shit we do as agents because we have to be more resourceful on the tools that we use. Like they just have access to unlimited money, right? So
They're not in the weeds.
right, they're not. And I was on the call with them. I'm like, this guy's like, why don't you come and join us? And well, I'm like, listen, I got a better group that has way more knowledge on tools that we can build out and sell. Why would I join you? Even though I have the venture capital partners ready to go and all that, could could I do it? Maybe. But I
What do
told
they
them,
want?
I'd rather do it on myself, on my own.
How much do they want?
9,000 to be in it.
They reached out to me yesterday, and I had
Yeah.
no idea it was a financial commitment. There's no way in
Well,
fuck I'm gonna pay $9,000.
no,
For
well,
that.
I
You can
told
do
them
it.
the same thing.
You can
I
do it,
told
Brent.
I
What's
gave him
that?
our groups to come and join, and I go, listen, come just look at our recruiter roundtables on Thursday and Friday, and I guarantee you, the guys and the people in these groups know a lot more than your recruiters internally there.
But it's kind of just interesting. I mean, you look at the whole industry that we have, and really with all the shit we're learning here, it's really great stuff. And then the small amount of people that actually come on, that actually, because you're here, you can ask questions. Instead, they'd rather go onto Facebook and ask one stupid question like, "What's the
Oh,
best
I know.
system to this?" And you go, "Shit, just come here and ask anybody."
Yeah, I know.
On that note, I actually do have a question for everybody because I've never done any kind of text outreach ever. So does anybody do that for like cold outreach, or are these like when you do a tech campaign, is it already candidates that you already have in your database and you're just, recycling them for a new role and you already know that that's their cell phone number?
I do it for new biz dev. I just started.
But how do you find the phone number that's accurate? Because, like when you do, any sourcing, I mean, they'll give you a laundry list of like what the possible phone number is. So which one, how do you cycle through them?
I use Apollo, and oftentimes people will have like do not contact, or whatever. It's on the do not call list. So I don't call them, but I send them a video text, and I'll say I'll like film a text. I just started doing this, and I'll film a text of myself saying, hey Joel, work with me, and I send the text to the guy, and then I share my contact with it as well, and now that's later on in the sequence, but it's I have no idea if it's going to work yet. I've done it to maybe 5 people thus far, less than 10 people for sure, and haven't had a single response. So it might not work, but I'm going to give it a go for at least.
How do you know
I'll
it's
try
going to
it
get to
right.
the right person?
50 times.
Like, are we sending it to just somebody who's not Karen, or is it going to Karen? Like, where, out of all of these numbers, like which one is which? That's what I'm
Right.
wondering.
You got to
Well,
make sure
well,
you have the right cell phone.
with these people, do you
Yeah.
have their emails, and do you have a confident email or a confident way of getting a hold of them? Because what I do is I'll send them an email, go on LinkedIn, and send them a eventual text, and I'll just tell them, and I'll call them, and then with the email, I'll just or the text, I'll just say, "Hey, just sent you an email and left you a voice message. Check it out, Ernie," and that's it. And they may look at it, they may not, but I'm going on based on curiosity, based on the fact that they're going to want to, who the fuck is Ernie? And
Yeah,
it's just,
right.
Have you guys heard
For
of the
me,
tool?
oh, go ahead, Joe.
Sorry, Dom. Have you guys
Oh, you're good.
heard of the tool Vidyard?
Yeah,
Yeah, I use that.
You
Yeah.
do use it.
Yeah, Victor's awesome.
Yeah. I was just thinking, Ernie was saying that he wasn't sure if people view it or not, but at least if you're recording a video through something like Vidyard or Loom or one of those resources, you could at least track engagement from that perspective.
So
Yeah.
think about this though. Like somebody brought this up to me yesterday, a recruiter. He goes, Dom, you and I and a lot of us know what Loom is, but a lot of people don't, right? So if they're scared about clicking links, he goes, so I think it might be better just to create a YouTube because then it shows up the thumbnail and then you record your message and keep it private. And then you can, because I was like, oh, how are you going to track it? Well, if it's private, then you can see like, okay, well, I looked at it once and then you can see if they looked at it. So I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I've
Because
been
people are
using
going
it
to
for
be like
recruiting.
YouTube.
Yeah, and it's been great because it's like it's personalized, gives an overview of the role, the mission of the company, mission of the role, gets them excited about it. And you can tell when they viewed your content and they love the videos, like for recruiting. It's been awesome.
Yeah, Joel, I remember you said that on the first call. Like, how
It's been
long
great.
are your videos when you do those?
Um, I don't know, anywhere from 3 minutes to 6 minutes, depending on what it is. Like when I was contracting with that big company, like they're a big conglomerate. So like those videos would be a little bit longer because I kind of just would scope out the whole like opportunity within that company to get them excited about like future advancement. But like now that I'm on my own and it has to be confidential, just like I would mention, I do just a Gamma overview, like slideshow through Gamma, so it's confidential, but I give an overview of the company, what they're doing, how you're going to be a part of it, and then I'll just end it real quick. And I've been doing those videos are like 3 to 4 minutes long.
And
Do
those
you edit
videos
them or anything?
you use what tool do you use to make those videos?
It's called
Vidyard?
Gamma. Oh, the video is Vidyard, but I use Gamma as like the slide, and then Vidyard, it's got my little face there on the slide, walking them through like the opportunity and what you're going to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anybody, and I'm curious if anybody's tested like almost doing like an NPC model with Vidyard where you're recording a video of maybe a redacted resume saying, hey, saw that you have an opening. Here's a profile I wanted to share with you.
Oh, you know
I'm
what?
I'm doing the same thing with that's just on the reverse with NPCs too. I'll actually send you guys links to the two that I'm doing, just so you can see what you can be opinion of whether you think it'd be effective, but I'm doing the exact same thing with my NPC approach. So I'm doing a presentation of the candidate, recent projects they've worked on, things that they've done really well, and how they're going to, bring value. And it's just specific to that industry niche, so it's a little bit more personalized, just so it's only for those types of companies.
I did a video recently, an NPC campaign. I sent it to 120 something, and I got a great open rate on it. It was like a 40% open rate, and then only maybe 10 people watched it. There's 13 views total on Loom. Share the link real quick, but
What, did you follow up with a call right after?
Not right after, but I did follow up with a call for some of the targeted ones and just voicemails. Nobody's called me back.
You know what, Joe, like what I was thinking, like when you said that, it's like, okay, but what about Tenacia.io, right, where it creates the avatar for you, and that's how you can send out the NPC video. All you do is type in the text, and it will literally say it.
What is that platform? Tenacia? How do you spell that?
Here it is. Let me put it in the chat.
Appreciate it.
Like, I'm telling you, if we could figure out this piece right here, I'd make a lot of money, and then we would all make a lot of money. So let's figure that part out. Like, that's my biggest pain point, is leaving these rock star candidates, like true NPCs, sitting there and then not following up with them. I'm sure all you guys have great candidates that you have sitting around and don't even have the time to go NPC them.
Yeah, I'm going to check this out. I haven't looked at this tool, but video recording is getting so good now where they could like make your mouth look different, and you could send the same video to 10 people, but it changes their name or whatever,
Yeah, Pops, what's that one that you made of that video where you had that redhead
Yeah, so I've been working with my daughter. I said I'll be better prepared. I wasn't sure what to expect today, but I do a lot of work in video, so creating videos from text. So I've worked with DID. I was just looking it up, but D-ID, and maybe I didn't get on the right
Oh
one
yeah,
here.
yeah. That's a good. Yeah,
I
I
got a
forgot about
couple
that one.
subscriptions. There's there because you can get different voices. You can. I just watched a guy last night. He did. He's building this is just how powerful Replit is. If I could provide any insight here, is this guy built a podcast app. He got 3 APIs to work inside the software. And it was a very simple interface. Two voices. You select what voices you want. He imported those from one API, prompted this thing, and he had a video generator, and it literally made two people talking to each other with the voices that he selected, saying what he wanted. And this was generated in, I don't know, less than a couple minutes. It was amazing.
Yeah, that
So
stuff's getting crazy.
yeah, but you can create an avatar. You can do yourself. I'll if anybody's interested, I'd be happy to gather that stuff up during the week here to come, and I can share that next week. But there's definitely tools out there for you to and we all know how to, we're all using AI, so getting basic text out of Perplexity or Sonnet or whoever, that's the easy part. Now it's getting it into a medium that can stop these people in their tracks. And this is what I tell Mike, because I'm unfortunately an EVP at a company that is all automotive, and we're kind of refining our place. And I was telling my people, the message we have to get out there is that message that when I'm in the shower tomorrow morning getting ready for work, I'm thinking about what you said and thinking, man, I gotta get back with those people, because that would truly help me. Right. I said, if we can get that message, that's the only thing that's going to stop people in this time, because we're hyper hit with information, emails. I get more. I have 7,000 messages in my email box right now. I don't even know. I mean, I bypass the stuff I don't have time for. So we text. I'll do cold text after 2 emails. I'll shoot 2 emails out, and I do all this by hand right now because I'm working with Seamless, trying to target people in their intent feature. But I'll cold email twice, and then I'll hit them with a text. And if it works, it works. I call, like I said, I talked to somebody's dad the other day out of Seamless. So I mean, I don't care. A lot of it's just about, if you like to read Atomic Habits, there's two basic things that go on. One is planning, which a lot of times can seem like action, and then there's what these meetings about right now. This is action. Okay, I'm actually picking up the phone and calling somebody. I get stuck in planning sometimes. I gotta shake myself and say, look, you got to pick up the phone, because these emails and stuff are only going to do so much for you. You need to get your ass out there, pick up the phone, send that text. And thank you guys for your info today, because you guys alerted me to a lot of things that I could probably be doing a lot better on. And I think I've only spent a few minutes with you.
Yeah, we have another one tomorrow at 12:30.
Let me ask you another question. Let me ask you another question. A very simple question. Your MPCs. What's your criteria for your MPC?
Me, I don't even know what that means.
Most placeable candidate.
What was it again?
Most placeable candidate, like an absolute rock.
Oh,
like
most placeable candidate.
Like you, right? Like if I was going to recruit you out of Prestige, that would be an MPC. 29 years at one company, blah, blah, blah. All right, here I'm going to go show this company. I got an absolute rock star for you that's not looking, not going to apply to any jobs. Here's your guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't do anything with them, because typically what I'm dealing with now and with my automotive clients, they're all struggling right now. That's why I said if I'm down to myself and one of my recruiters we're just out there banging it, you know what I mean, trying to develop other industries kind of things, come up with a more holistic HR pitch to maybe, because I'm struggling in the staffing world just to get through the noise in my market. Because they're slimming down vendor bases. There's a lot of things that are fighting against me specifically in my business segment. So I really enjoyed this conversation, but I would say at this point, nothing. If I don't have another opening to do, I tried to get in the split network and they denied us because we appear as though we're an industrial company, which we are. We have a large machining operation and aerospace works and stuff like that. But we also have this whole separate staffing entity that's it's its own company. That's how we started. So yeah, nothing, I guess, would be the answer. And I appreciate Ernie, I appreciate the question.
So what about you guys? What do you look for? What are 4 things or 5 things that you will say that this is an NPC for sure? You got to put them on the market.
For me, it's like a guy that I know, is hot in SaaS supply chain tech, right? A lot of people are looking for people that are very data focused and know, like I have a guy right now, 7 years at one TMS company, and he's an NPC, right? 250K base salary, OTE probably about 500, which is very reasonable. And I literally had to tell him he was worth 250K base. He's like, I don't even know what the market is. I haven't looked in 7 years. And I always forget, like, some of these people have worked so long at these companies, they don't even know what they're worth. But what am I doing, Ernie? I'm literally just doing one by one right now, and that's why until my N8 agent workflow is ready to go, I don't have the time to even do it. That's the problem.
Well, you kind of, I guess it's kind of like one of those things everybody says, yeah, he's an NPC, and yet trying to get the definition of what that would be. Like, you look at somebody's salary, you look at somebody's work history, you look at somebody's education, maybe you look at their achievements. But if you get a fucked up resume, it's hard to prove. I mean, you talk to somebody and they come out like they're gold, and then they send you this resume that looks like it came out of their third grader just wrote it, like, this is what I've done. And you need that conversation, and all the resume does is get you an interview, get you a conversation. So then you gotta have the meat, or at least that would separate. And that's what I guess I throw it out, and I've always asked myself, what is the criteria?
If you want me to show you kind of what I do on mine? So here's my NPC GPT, right? Here's the instructions. This is my virtual assistant. It breaks down the metadata by vertical, industry, blah, blah, blah. And I can send it to you. That's my prompt. But then, like, for this guy right here, what I'll do is I'll first copy his LinkedIn profile, put it in there, and then it will spit out based on my prompts this. Then I'll throw that into Perplexity, find me open jobs, right? Tags it all for me, puts it properly. Then I enter in the call transcript, and then it refines that, first model that I just showed you. Gives me a quick recap and just top target companies he's interested in. Here are roles that he was a good fit for. So that one's easy, one by one, I have no problem. But like, if other roles pop up, I want the Clay automation to automatically go and hit those for me. So that way I don't have to do it, because I'm missing out on too much money with these great candidates.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. You can.
Here's what it spits out for me to go and send. Obviously, I'll take out the emojis, but like, current role, blah, 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 based on why he stands out 20 years across asset, non-asset, and SaaS logistics. Expert in TMS, WMS rollouts, onboarding, customer success, prefers mid-size, light travel, due to coaching youth hockey. So we hit it off immediately on that. Just great candidate. And I'll just show you his LinkedIn profile so you can see like why this is a true NPC.
Hey Dom, that's also the conversation. You also put your conversation in there, so it pulls out any of the important aspects of the conversation.
Correct. So that way, like, if he says something about money or travel, I don't want to miss it. I have it in there. And then I don't have to go back and forth with the company. Oh, you want to travel? Yeah, he said light travel. Okay, what does light travel mean? Maybe I can get that from him. But like he coaches youth hockey. Well, I already know what that means. That means his weekends are screwed. So like he's got to be home to coach the kids' games at 5:36, which he's an elite level executive, right? He'll get it done. This is him right here. And this is one company. They were bought out, right? So 6 years. And I like this too. Progression at the company, promoted. Like that to me is NPC. Not to mention like how data analytics savvy this guy is and what he can bring to the table. And then he worked for the biggest logistics company on both sides, Perlator in Canada, DSV, and then also a Omnitrans, which is more of like a SaaS play. So this guy's a freaking stud in my world.
Did he come into your pipeline just like from a job that you're hiring for, or did you reach out to him and just like wanted to connect with him?
Here it is. That was a LinkedIn automation. I didn't set that up. May we connect? I took that out. I don't even like that word.
May we connect?
Yeah, I hate that word. I go, Tobias, take that word out. I would never use may we connect. So, anyways, he goes, great timing. He goes, great timing. I would like to connect and understand where there could be opportunities myself. Boom, immediately.
Dude, that's the thing I try to tell everybody. You get 250 connection requests a week with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Build your fucking network, man. Send out people that you want to be NPC, or just build your network. Send them to hiring managers. Send them to whoever, but don't waste them.
No, and that's why I was telling you, Tom, when you put that on Facebook, I'm like, I know what I want on NPC.
Dude, I'm sorry, I didn't see your name, dude. I
know.
thought it was some other schmo asking questions, and I figured I would throw it in there, and then I realized it was you, and I felt stupid.
No, and it's like what I want is that system and process, like somebody that I'm telling you, if we build it internally here as a group, everybody would pay for this.
Well, I love your prompt, right? Because like me, I'm not big on email marketing, but the way that you built that prompt out and the way that the emails are, if you have, and the thing that I was thinking about this is you personally have a lot of extra people that you want to NPC you don't have time for, right?
Exactly.
So sending out, this is kind of like my keep it simple stupid email, right? Where it's just one email or two emails that are like, hey, boom, I got this guy, you're interested, call me. If not, fuck off. It's that simple. You're not trying to develop a client. All you're trying to do is see if anybody in your network or anybody in the industry wants to hire this guy. So that's like actually a good idea.
Yeah, the problem is that like for this guy, he's in my like bread and butter space. Like I don't want to say fuck off to these clients because these are clients I want down the road.
Well, I don't mean fuck off in the sense of that. I mean in the sense of just like if I had a structural engineer NPC, it's like, tell them I want to move to Northern California. I don't have any clients in Northern California, so I can grab all the structural engineering firms and put together this NPC thing, and then send out 100 emails, and then like set it, forget it. If someone happens to call me and say I want to talk to your guy, great. If not, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you always have a guy.
Yeah.
Never go without a guy.
I'll send you guys this prompt if you guys want it.
Yeah, shoot me that prompt. You have to email it. That's huge.
Yeah, and then just change it to your industry. But put your email in the chat. I'll email it over right now.
Better have my email saved, bitch.
I have yours, Tom.
Jordan sent me that winged workforce. Is that the website you built with Manus? Or wasn't there another one?
Winged workforce, and then I built out. So like Manus, I ran out of credits, but I'm in the middle of. You should see what it did. Is my screen still sharing or no?
No. Wasn't there another one you sent me? I know you did that Aclic or whatever, or Lock. Or whatever. But was there another one you did with Cortex or Manus?
Yeah, a lot of them. I got to pull them back up, but Cortex.
A colleague of mine just said, "Hey, I'm going to spend $5,000 to build a website." I said, "You're crazy."
Yeah, spend $100 on Manus and it'll build it for you.
Yeah.
Not even that, or you can go to lovable.dev for $15 and.
I went to Replit real quick. Said, "Hey, can you copy this website, not identical, with a similar thing?" And in like 10 seconds, man, it fucking copied it. And I was like, "Holy shit!"
Oh yeah, Tom, my father-in-law Tom's on the call. He's really been diving deep into Replit.
Oh,
Like I know you are too.
So I don't know if you saw that we started Linktify. I built the first thing I built was the audit, like the classic audit. You go to linktify.me, hit the classic audit, drop your LinkedIn stuff in there, and it gives you like a little, hey, this is what's wrong, this is what's right. But I'm building the second part of it right now, and it's a lot harder, but it's still doing it. I'm just having to get through some of the issues with a paywall or an IP paywall or something, so I don't have people spamming my IP API on Claude doing, optimization over and over and over again and costing me $100.
Yeah.
Well, no, and what I implemented, and I'm right in the middle of it right now with my educational app because it uses AI tokens to generate. So one of the suggestions that Chad had and Replit seems to be okay with, and I'm not quite there yet. I set up all the databases to do token counting.
Yeah.
But to limit the free to 5 total generations, like lifetime for that email, and then also to regenerate material, it had a warning, and then it would set it at 3 regenerations. So you don't get, because you can only charge so much, right? And you don't want to.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to use it, but if you want offline, we can keep each other up to date with how that works.
Yeah, I'd love to. What's your email, Tom?
It's tom.nichols, Nichols, at productharvest.com.
NICHOLAS.
I can send it to you. I can send it to you.
Product Harvest.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I like Replit. It's given me an ability. I got tons of ideas. I love this stuff, but I just never was able to build anything. Now I can.
Yeah,
I can
I'm the same way. I have a ton of ideas too, but I can't do math or program or write code or anything. And now with Replit, Manus, Cortex, all this stuff out there, it's like I look like a genius, and I'm an idiot. It's awesome.
I do all of it. And what I would think if Dominic said, if we wanted to build something out as a team, one of the things that I've been in my research that's been coming up is that's how I got in my educational little deal is what they're calling micro apps. And I think if you build these things to, not in the far off future, be in like the decentralized app store on the blockchain, there's a lot of things that are going to inherently change when this stuff migrates to the blockchain in the future, where you're going to have the app stores are going to disappear. Your LinkedIn followers can now be your Facebook followers, and your Instagram, they all become yours. They're not owned by Instagram anymore. It's really going to be cool, but a lot of the stuff we've talked about, you can break down into probably 2 or 3 apps and then launch them. And then once you get a little bit of money coming in, you bring in the experts to combine everything and then make it the marketing app. But there's a lot of call for all these little services.
What is a micro app?
Micro SaaS apps and micro learning. Tom, I was talking to this guy yesterday. That's why we need to set up another call just for this. Like whoever wants to be in on this build, money. Like why are we waiting for all these other recruiters to build these freaking tools?
This is what I built in Replit that we're using right now, and I was just amazed at how quickly it did it and how it listened to everything. When I said change this, it changed it. When I said do this, it did it. It was just kind of wild how Replit was able to do that.
And just so everybody's clear, I've like my study app is what I call it. I've built it. I'm on number 7, but I call it study 5. But yeah, I've had to rebuild this thing multiple times because it does go off the rails. I was getting some errors that were Replit errors that it basically told me I can't fix this. You violated some parameter in the system, and it's a story of my life. But so yeah, it's not easy, but there's a way to get this thing done, and you just gotta. It's like a woman, you just gotta be gentle and coerce it, and not ask to do too many things at one time.
See, this is the hook, Dom. Right. So the idea is that they see this, they'll want the full profile. Optimization.
I was going to ask you because it doesn't come out like we normally do.
No. This is the hook. Right? This is free.
Okay.
This is free. If you want the full proof, I asked Jordan. I just did one for one of his employees. You want the free thing, then it's right now we were saying at $200, but I think if I build the app out the way I want it, I'm just going to charge $50 for it and let's set it and forget it.
Yeah, you know what I just did too is I went to my Calendly and set up all these things. So when let me show you through Stripe. Oh shit! I gotta jump to another call anyways right now. Damn it! I'll let you guys stay on. I gotta jump to 1:15. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, send me that
thanks,
prompt, Dom. I want to work on that.
Are we no longer recording?
Yeah.
No, we're still recording. But he left the meeting, so I don't know if he's streaming it or recording. He didn't stream this, right?
No, I think you just like note taker.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually just ran, because I'm trying to market a staffing company. I just ran micro apps, and I think I just did it in chat. No, that might have been in Manus, and it just came back with same old kind of thing. So what you guys are talking about is more servicing the recruiting database or recruiters in general, and how to get candidates out there, which was a little bit different take on than what I search for. So if you guys are interested, like Dominic said, I'd be more than happy to do a little bit of research based on what you guys have talked about, the projects, and I'll do some research on what these do, some of the pain points you guys talked about. I'll run that through a couple different scenarios and see if we can generate some ideas for a couple apps. And I mean, if I have time to do it, it's not that expensive on Replit. I think my app is up to maybe like $200.
Have you gotten it to go out on the App Store or strictly a web app? Because all I built was a web app.
You know what? I think for me, a web app was the way to start. And you build it in a way where part of my initial prompt was that I want to build a mobile app with this in the end. So it kind of builds it with the sense, not that it tracks it the whole time, but it built the framework with the intent of turning it into a mobile app. So it can take whatever it needs, pull it out, and I think it uses a different framework for mobile than it does for the web app. But yeah, it's very intuitive. You just got to kind of keep it on. It tends to go off the rails a little bit, but I think it could be a great tool for this team. And if nothing else, even if it's valuable to the team here, and it costs $100 and a couple weeks to develop it, and it's valuable, like somebody said, one placement. I mean, it was worth it.
Oh heck yeah! I mean, that's how I look at all this. The stuff that I'm doing is like this. The web app that I'm building for the optimization. If I sell it for $50 and 10 people use it a month, that's an extra $500, right? That's nothing. Like it's just free money coming in, and it's something I had fun doing because I wanted to see if I could do it, right? Because I had built the prompt, right? And everybody, I constantly get, hey, can you do this for me? And yeah, I don't mind doing it, but I wouldn't mind getting paid for people I don't know. So if I can set it up in a way that people can just log on, put their LinkedIn profile in, get the optimization they want, fix their profile, and it costs them $50, and maybe it'll take. I don't know. Maybe someone will buy me, but at this point, it's just for fun.
And that's kind of the way I look at it. I'm going to give my educational app to my family, and I'm going to launch it and say $9, $10, generate 50 sets of material for your kids, age appropriate, teacher, student. I mean, it turned out far more amazing than I thought, because the AI, as you're in the process of building, starts to suggest things that would work.
Yes.
And you can say, yeah, that sounds good. Like, I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought about some of the things that it suggested. It even scores tests online. I mean, you can take a multiple choice test and it'll give you a score. You can show your mom. I mean, for someone that's homeschooling, this would be a game changer, I think. Granted, we didn't put rails on it, so the kids could be doing, they could generate material on whatever they want, from sex to drugs to guns.
Oh, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, you'd have to put parameters on it for that.
Yeah. So that's why I'm not there yet, but I'll put warnings on it if I put it out and see if I can generate a little bit of dough with it. And if I can, I'll hire somebody or start working with somebody that wants to make me grow it or help me grow it, you know?
I just bought dinosaurs.kids, and I'm gonna try and develop a website where kids can go on and learn about dinosaurs and download coloring book pages so they can color or send them to their iPad and color on their iPad.
I showed Dominic when GPTs came out, my nephews and niece came over, and I gave them, I developed them a GPT that developed coloring book pages based on a prompt. So you put whatever prompt in you want, and they were doing Bugatti and a lizard, and this car came out with scales on it, literally,
That's awesome.
and
That's
a tail.
awesome.
It was crazy what it came up with. They played with that thing for a couple weeks before it got old, you know.
And that's what I feel like I don't know how if this is going to go anywhere because my ADHD. I just bought the website was available. I figured dinosaurs.kids has got to be worth something. And then I thought, okay, well, what if kids can go and learn all about dinosaurs, but also while they're on there, they could color pages and send the coloring pages to their grandparents or whoever, or they can download the pages to their iPad or download them to print. That was my idea.
Right.
I don't know if it's going to go anywhere, but we'll see.
Right. So I guess the message of the group would be we could combine multiple APIs. So anything you can get into or out of, we could combine with an idea and get it functional. The AI will pull all the information together. Replit can be the face of it.
Yep. I have APIs for Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, and then I have I have Open Router. I don't know if you guys know what Open Router is. Open Router is an aggregate for all of the large language models. And you can just put in one, you can just go there and use them all, right? Or you could put like one API into TinyMine and get access to every single large language model, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever. But you pay a premium, a 5% upcharge, right? So for example, if it's 1 million tokens is $5 on ChatGPT, 1 million tokens is 10%, $5.50 on Open Router. But it makes it easier to kind of have them all right there, and you can also play on their playground. And there's about 60 different, a minimum of 60 different large language models out there besides the big three.
Awesome.
So there's a lot of, I was trying to think, some of the Gemini models are free. Could we run some of the stuff we're doing with one of the free models and not worry about cost the API, right? Because like 4.5 is expensive. I ran some stuff with 4.5 was costing me $1 every time I ran it. And if I run it with Gemini 2.5 Pro, it's free right now, right? DeepSeek's free, right? So and I have the API for DeepSeek as well. So if I ran everything through DeepSeek, would it work? I don't know. I mean, would I get throttled because all of a sudden I have, hundreds of people doing LinkedIn optimizations with my app and I'm using DeepSeek? But
you need to pay because there's token, you got your token count. I would think you would need to, for the safety of, people that are paying the $50, you don't want them getting cut off halfway through. But
I wrote down your email wrong, but I told Dom to send me your email, and my email is in the thing. And yeah, dude, I would absolutely, we can collaborate on different, how you're using Replit or whatever. I'd enjoy that.
Oh yeah, it's been a journey, and I love to share whatever I learned. So when Dominic told me about
it right here and run it through ChatGPT or whoever and say change everything that says logistics, transportation, and freight to my my niche.
Tom, you're invited to tomorrow too. We have our
you're more than welcome to come tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be on branding, right? Using LinkedIn to really up your branding for a recession-proof market. So like what you can do above and beyond just posting on LinkedIn. So in fact, thanks for reminding me, Ernie. I forgot to put the announcement out, and I got to do the graphics. So I got to get out of here, guys. Tom, it was very nice meeting you.
Yeah,
you
too,
Jordan, Ernie. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Alrighty, we'll talk to you.
Yep, I forgot about you. Good to see you guys. See you tomorrow.
Yep, take care. I got to go as well. Thank you, guys.
Bye.